In this movie, we'll talk about how to capture data from a text field and display it somewhere else. If you'd like to follow along, we're in capturing.fla, and that's inside of the Chapter 8 folder. Let's take a look at our Flash file to see what we have set up for us already. At the top of the screen, we have an input text field with the name _txt. The _txt suffix is similar to the _mc suffix. That will give us code hinting when we type the instance name in our code. Then we have a button with the name submit_btn. _btn is a similar naming convention to _mc and _txt. It has that instance name because it gives us automatic code hinting. At the bottom of the screen, we have a snowboard with some text on it. The instance name is board_txt. It is not selectable. We can tell because this button is unchecked. That would make the text selectable, and that makes it not selectable. And it's single line. Let's look at the action script that we have. Go to the first keyframe of your actions layer and press Option F9 on the Mac, F9 on the PC to open up the actions panel. In the first line of code, we have a variable named body_txt. The data type is TextField, and it's equal to a new instance of the TextField class. So we're creating this TextField dynamically. Here are the X and Y positions. Set the auto size to TextField autosize.left. Because we have not yet put in add child, this object will not be visible until we tell it to be visible a little bit later on. The submit button has an event listener to listen for a mouse click, which will run the onClick event handler, which is created down here, just in skeleton form. The next step in capturing data from a text field is to create a variable that will hold that data. So let's go back to line 1 at the very end, go to the next line, type var, then type your, and then name with capital N. This will be the variable that holds the name of the person when they type it in. Then type colon, string with a capital S, and just a semicolon. We don't need to give it a value yet. We'll give it a value after they type in their name. Now let's go to the event handler. So right down here and onClick on line 13. Put your cursor in there. Then the first thing we want to do is put the text field on the screen. That text field being body_txt. That's the one we created in code. So type add, then child with a capital C, open parenthesis, body_txt, close parenthesis, and a semicolon. That will make our text field visible. Let's go to the next line, and let's give a value to your name. So type your, and then name with capital N, space equals space. Like I said earlier, this is going to hold the name of the person when they type it in the text field. Up to this point, we've put data in a text field, but we haven't brought it out of a text field. It's actually exactly the same thing. The instance name of the text field that the user will be typing their name into is called name_txt. Then type a dot, then type text, and a semicolon. So the variable your name will be equal to whatever the user has typed in the name_txt text field. Now let's go to the next line. The name of the board text field is board_txt. So type board_txt dot text space equals space, and then your name with a capital N and a semicolon. So at the top of the screen, we created a variable called your name that's a string. After the user fills out the text field, they click the submit button. We give the value that's inside of that text field, name_txt.text, that's going to be the text that's inside of the text field, to that variable. So whatever they type in, it's being put inside of that variable container. And then we're setting the board text property, the text on the snowboard, to the your name variable, which is coming from the name_txt text field, and that will give us their name on the snowboard. Let's test the movie. Take a look. Going to type in my name in the text field, and then click Submit. And it shows up in the snowboard. Great. Let's close this movie. And now, let's populate the body_txt text field. So go to the next line in the onClick event handler and type body_txt.text space equals space. Now what we've done at this point is we put some text in quotes. And that's what we're going to do here, except we're going to do something else new along the way. Type open quote, type hi, and then a space, then a close quote, and then a space, a plus, another space, then type your name with a capital N. Now this plus sign is different than the plus sign in math. The plus sign in math will add numbers together. If we use the plus sign with strings, it tacks on the second string to the first string. So this will say hi, then a space, and then whatever text value your name is equal to. So your name will be a string that comes in from the name_text text field, and then it will be placed right here instead. We have to close the quotes and use a plus because this is a variable. If we did not have a plus and we left your name in quotes, it would say, hi, your name. We don't want it to say your name. We want it to say whatever text value they put in the text field. So that's how you do that. After your name, type a space plus space. Then an open quote. And this will add in more literal text, or exactly as we type text, after the variable name. So I'll type an exclamation point. So I'll say, hi, Todd, or Jimmy, or Frank, or whatever, exclamation point. Then a space. Here's your custom board. Period, close quote, semicolon. Test the movie. Move this window out of the way. Type in some text. I'm going to type my name. Click the submit button. And it says, hi, Todd, exclamation point, a space. Here's your custom board. So we've successfully captured the data from this text field and passed it in here and on the board. So that is how to capture and use data from a text field. Now let's take a look at loading text from an external text file. We'll do that in the next movie.